Hey, what's going on? Welcome to my video, 5 time management tips made easy. We're going to talk about being productive, being efficient, being results oriented, and everything along those lines. My name is Brian Ogilvy, and I blog daily about productivity, about time management, how to be effective, how to be more driven, how to get focused, essentially. So this is going to be pretty cool. The URL is dotheknowledge.com/transcend. First thing I want to talk about is why even bother? Like, why bother with time management? Why not just, take life as it comes? And what I've found is that people who manage their time really well tend to end up in a better financial position, a better position career-wise, because they leverage their talents, leverage their skills, and leverage their opportunities differently than someone who's just taking it ad hoc. They also tend to have better relationships with the people that are important because they're not as stressed from their work needs, and they tend to have more contacts because they have a stronger network. Also, people who manage their time well tend to be people of influence, of impact, and the type of people who leave a legacy behind them, which are, of course, all important. On the contrary, people that don't manage their time well lose status and respect. They tend to never really accomplish anything significant. Because you think about it, anything important requires time management to some modicum, to some degree. And they sabotage their future, both financially and just in all senses of their own well-being. So it's really important. In fact, Malcolm X once said, in all of our deeds, the proper value and respect for time determines our success and our failure. So it's really important. It's really a valuable skill. But it's pretty interesting because I found that as vital as it is, it's one of the hardest skills to develop because nobody takes it seriously. Nobody really exhibits time management. It's not the most fashionable, popular thing to have. In fact, most people, they really just waste their time, really. They end up frustrated, confused, and without the results they want and wonder what's going on, why that is. I'm not saying this to knock anybody. We're all in the same boat. We all suffer from some of the same bad habits. I just want to make the point clear to you that if you don't constantly nourish your mind with this type of training, with these techniques and these ideas, you're naturally going to fall back into the bad habits because they're literally all around you. I'm at the point now, I think of time management as a preventative measure, as an investment into my future. So no different than you might pay insurance for your health or for any of the important items that you own. When you're studying time management, you're paying insurance mentally for the reality you create every day you wake up out of the bed. So, let's just go ahead and get into it. The first is that time management is played out. And what I mean by that is that time management comes out of a world that no longer exists. The term dates back to the Industrial Revolution because that was the first point in time where work and output were no longer confined to nature. So before the Industrial Revolution, work hours were determined by sunlight hours. Inclement weather is what determined the holidays, and even the time of day could be determined. People usually just looked at the sun. The Industrial Revolution, if you think about it, is a pretty deep point. This was the first time people actually started using clocks, working in factories, and leaving urban environments for, leaving rural environments rather for more urban city-like situations. So it's pretty interesting because all of that classical time management thought has its foundation in a reality that doesn't exist anymore, because all of this was before cell phones, it was before the internet, and it was before the technological advances that set up the situation we have now. So what I think of is productivity in a more present sense. So I'm thinking about, how to leverage information, how to leverage communication, how to manage our concentration and make better decisions. And ultimately, it's more like finding cheat codes in a video game than just managing time. And I think if you think like that, you find yourself getting a lot more insights and discovering a lot better, a lot of different, better ways to establish routines and such. So think efficiency, not time management. Think more about routines, more about systems, and more about environments that you can consciously set up, and you're well on your way. The second tip is that you achieve more by taking regular breaks than you ever do by working obsessively. So just stop. All right. Everything in nature works by cycles. You got the day and night, you have the 4 seasons, and also your own mind and your own body operate by rhythms as well, by cycles as well. Something called the circadian rhythm, which you probably already know about, that governs whether or not you're tired or you're awake. There's also something called the ultradian rhythm, which governs your energy peaks throughout the day. And the basic science here is to take 20 or 30-minute breaks every 90 minutes, or at least every 2 hours. That's when you're maximizing your body's natural attention spans. So you really, oh, also there's a book called The Power of Full Engagement that goes more in depth with this. But really, you can do anything. You know, you can do laundry, you can clean up, you can play an instrument, you can talk on the phone with a friend. It really doesn't matter as long as you're detaching completely from the work periodically and not feel slaving your mind. Step number 3 is to stop multitasking and eliminate distraction. And this is a big, big one. We're going to watch a quick excerpt from an old video of mine that goes more in depth. Check this out. You should enjoy it. What happens is we try to multitask doing them as opposed to concentrate in depth with those different things. So it becomes difficult to get results in a particular thing because our attention gets scattered with all the different aspects of it. Does that make sense? Like, let's say if we're writing an actual blog post, it'll be easy for us to say, okay, well, I got to find a picture to go here. I got to make sure this links to that. I got to make sure I ask this person this to find out about that. And then all the different composite tasks that make up the actual goal get mired into one like mass action, as opposed to focus and concentration on each thing with complete disregard to the other things as you're doing that thing. You get what I'm saying? So the main way to manage your time and the main way to be more productive with your time is to focus on one thing at a time. And when it comes to prioritizing, one thing you could do is attach a dollar value. So that's about it. Action step: eliminate distraction and interruption. Focus on one thing at a time. And 4, learn quickly by asking questions. And when you listen, you learn. So if you're always in a state of apprenticeship, you find yourself learning skills and learning things that help you in the long term. I learned how to fix shower heads and things around the bathroom from an old roommate. I learned how electricity works from an old employee. And I learned how to cook from my ex-girlfriend, all of which make me way more productive now. So productivity knowledge and all types of knowledge about money, knowledge about relationships, about health, it's literally all around us if we just pay attention and see how immersed we really are. So stop making points and start gaining them instead. Always look for opportunities to ask questions. And lastly, step number 5, align your work with who you are as a person. So just ask yourself, what gets you out of bed in the morning? Because that purpose orientation, that's what gives you the drive, that's what gives you the passion to really invigorate your work and bring those tasks to life, if you will. It should be something that's beyond your personal benefit, not just, making money or getting some reward or some trophy. Really, if you think about what frustrates you and reverse engineer that, you're well on your way. So like for me, 2 things that frustrate me are ignorance and laziness, which is why I have a blog and a YouTube channel about productivity from a more intelligent standpoint. And maybe what frustrates you might be war or poverty, and then likely your purpose in reverse fashion would be peace and prosperity. Maybe if it doesn't really even have to be anything deep, like even if what frustrates you is just bad fashion, what would motivate you and what would be your purpose would be something oriented around good fashion, so on and so forth. So action step here, just think about what's important to you and orient your goals around that so that you can be driven, so that you can be really focused and invigorated about it. So to review, the first step is that old school time management is played out, it no longer exists. The second is that we achieve more with regular breaks, take breaks periodically. The third is that distraction and interruption are probably the biggest thieves to effective time management. The fourth is that you learn quickly by asking questions, and you learn a lot by paying close attention. And lastly, fifth, you are most engaged and you're most driven when your work aligns with who you are as a person. So just take this with you. Really hope it helps. Subscribe for more. Have a ton of more great videos. You can also check out my blog. The URL will be in the video description. And I think that's it. All right. Thanks again for checking this out, and take care. Peace.